Hi, and welcome back to Wicked Wands Tarot. My name's Carmen, and today we're going to do a reading on judgment. This is actually, so I asked the spirits what we wanted to talk about today, and this is my favorite card in the Dark Goddess Oracle. This is Ma'at, maybe my next tattoo, actually. And this is all actually kind of ties back to the reading I did for Aries. Is your heart lighter than a feather? I think I phrased it heavier than a feather. It's all about looking at how you've, handled the difficulties that have been thrown your way and whether or not you've maintained that spirit that is uniquely you, as opposed to letting other people influence how you act based on what they do or how they might betray you. So let's call in spirit, a little bit of wind chime time. Thank you to those of you who complimented me on the lights. It just didn't feel right until I had some Christmas lights in here, so might have to get another strand. I really like these. All right, let's see. We are going to start with the Tattoo Tarot. My hands are too small, so I can't ever grab the entire deck, you guys. I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. Happy Friday, Junior, if you're watching this the day I posted. What else do we have on judgment? Oh, okay. Hierophant in the reverse. This is maybe going to be a little bit of a heavy reading, you guys. It won't be for everyone. All right. Ah, okay. I mean, what I heard was somebody went against God. Unwise, ill-advised, for sure. We have the Hierophant in the reverse and the Page of Pentacles in the reverse. Now, the Hierophant in the reverse could also signify that somebody went against one of God's chosen. And with the Page of Pentacles in the reverse, what I'm really being drawn to is the clock here. It's like time's up. You had your opportunity to make things better after, what was done here. And I feel like there was some element with the eye there where somebody had the awareness to know that what they were doing was against better judgment, and maybe even had some sort of warning that there would be a loss. Because what I'm seeing here is a pentacle, if it's in the reverse, a pentacle that is falling from hands, kind of like an Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. So I feel like there's been somebody here that has experienced a loss. And they may even be tying this loss to something they did that they knew was against their better judgment. We have the Nine of Swords also in the reverse. And I feel like this has dual meaning. I feel like on the one hand, we have somebody here who knows that they've done something that they shouldn't have done. And this is like a Nine of Swords underscored. Like somebody can't sleep at night. Somebody is praying to 18 different deities, trying to figure out how they can get themselves out of a situation that they kind of suspected they might have gotten into. But I also feel like for somebody here, probably who I'm reading for, you, there is a persistence of hope. Even after somebody would, do something perhaps unforgivable. Somebody was foolish. So I found this necklace yesterday while cleaning. It's a snake. I think one of the reasons I like this necklace or why I bought it was when I was in Berlin, I picked up one of my favorite sets of earrings ever. I don't really wear earrings anymore. Pandemic changed me, you guys. But I wore those earrings all the time. I just love them. They're just little snakes hanging down with like a green jewel at the top. And for some reason, I feel like Germany or Berlin, or maybe even just global travel, is somehow important because this snake just made me think of my necklace and my earrings, you know? And I feel like there's a sense that somebody is comfortable around danger, which is kind of a weird interpretation. I feel like, yes, somebody was foolish and they did something that they shouldn't have done. They're likely getting bad karma. But there's also a sense because we have this other meaning of somebody having persistent hope being next to the Fool in the reverse. I feel like somebody knows that part of their purpose here is to be put in situations where they basically put a mirror up to the situation or the person. There's a level of acceptance that they are kind of like a test. I'm going to tell you how this could go. I'm going to give you the opportunity to do the right thing. And if you don't heed the warning, or if you don't, decide to do the right thing, then don't be shocked when judgment happens. So it's almost as if somebody is comfortable with the idea that they themselves can embody the energy of karma. And for those of you who are religious, though I walk through the valley of shadow of death phrase just went through my head. I feel like the Chariot is here to denote not just fast movement. Some of you may feel like there's been a long road and all of the sudden things are like picking up. You're seeing maybe more chatter or hearing it or being made aware that people know now that whatever happened, like they're seeing maybe an investigation happen. Maybe they're seeing people ask them, hey, did you do this? There's a sense that somebody has a little bit of a fear of legal consequences with the Chariot here. But notice we don't have a vehicle. The Chariot is quite literally a vehicle, right? But this particular card, it's just a person. So I feel like there's a sense of moving forward for somebody, and that maybe a larger group is like watching this person leave. Now, this makes me think in particular, because now we have koi fish coming out, this makes me think of the scene in Memoirs of a Geisha that I just watched the other night, where World War II has struck and there is a need to evacuate the city where Sayuri lives. And because of her connections, she gets sent to the country, which is probably one of the safest places where she could be. And she's being carried away in a rickshaw, looking back at the people who aren't as fortunate, who might have to actually face some of the more difficult elements of war. So there's, with the Page of Cups, some element here of wistfulness to me. Like, I wish I had. I wish I had listened. But I also feel like there's a sense here that whoever was extending the warning, there was not a lot of not a lot of support, right? Not a lot of people that were like, okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. I should take that seriously. Mostly it was, I don't know. And those people might be coming out of the woodwork now to apologize. So it looks as though I'm reading this for somebody who's going to need to use discernment in terms of who is apologizing with a genuine heart and who is trying to save their own ass because they realize now they are being, foolish. This is the Metamuse. I don't know if I mentioned it. That was the Tattoo Tarot. Wow. You guys. So first off, we have the Hierophant in the reverse being clarified by the Four of Wands in the reverse. And what I'm drawn to is, I believe that's the Taj Mahal, and I believe that was created as a monument to a woman that I think, is it a sultan, was very in love with. But it's interesting to me that these are both in the reverse because I feel like, please correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like there was some element of, yeah, you probably loved her a lot and it's beautiful that you built that for her, but you were also maybe a little bit like controlling. There's an element of a shaky foundation. It's as if there was a constant battle for power in the face of like genuine pursuit of happiness or a moral fortitude. So it's like somebody was willing to put up a facade. This is exactly how it should be. And I'm doing, what any person of my great moral character would do. But there's a foundation behind it that is not as strong as they would want you to believe. And it like goes against some sort of compassion or godly attribute, something that in the pit of your soul you would know is the right thing to do. You don't need a law to tell you, that's wrong, right? There's something here where putting on a beautiful facade was more important than repairing the cracks in the foundation. You guys, this is what's creeped me out. I literally said, this is making me think of the Ace of Pentacles because when it's in the reverse, it's loss. It's as if somebody has lost some great gift and did so despite a warning, right? Because that eye is like the third eye, your intuition. So now we have, because they sit like this on my table here, we have somebody who has lost some great gift and somebody else who is inheriting it or taking it. So there could be legal consequences, there could be a myriad of ways that this is going to play out, but there is a sense that there is a transfer of ownership here. Here we have, you guys, this is like starting to give me goosebumps. Ugh. No, I'm going to hold it this way. We have a mirrored effect here. We have the Nine of Swords in the reverse, clarified by the Nine of Swords in the upright. And what I'm hearing is somebody thought they didn't have anything to worry about. They slept soundly at night. This is like, I'm going to get away with what I did. And now the winds have changed. Now they're worried. There's some recent development or information that's come to light or a change, some outcome, because it's the Ace of Pentacles here, I feel like it's something earthly, something tangible. There is something that this person can look at and without a doubt know shit's hitting the fan. This is probably bad news for me, you know? We have the Devil, the Magician, and the Six of Cups in the reverse. Somebody was living in the past, and to me, that means that there is an element of being unwilling to change your perspective. This is how it's always done. This is how the game is played. Them's the rules. Not anymore. Hi, Lynn. Oh, well, greet the dogs for me. No worries. I'm hoping I can do a couple live today, so don't worry. I hope you have a good day too. We've got kind of a scary combination here, you guys. We have the Devil and the Magician underneath, the Fool in the reverse, and the Chariot, which to me is saying somebody underestimated the potential consequences of their actions and instead chose to do something that kind of like fed their ego. It's like the line I'm hearing, you guys, if you've watched my channel, maybe you remember that my favorite book is Jurassic Park. Also a good movie. I don't know, they should have made it a franchise, but you know, the line I'm hearing is they spent so much time asking themselves if they could, they didn't ask if they should. Messing with something that they didn't have the ability to actually control. There's like a desire to be famous or desire to exert power. Money and greed would definitely be applicable here. And there's a sense that because there were people, hey, how's it going, Christine? Because we had people that were, you know, unwilling to acknowledge that something could potentially change and make their position either really apparent, hey, so you didn't have a problem doing that, okay. Or it shows that there was a pattern over time. Either way, it's like giving me vibes of Black Mirror, where that politician was like forced, or I don't even know if I finished that episode. It's like, you're going to have to make a public apology. That's what I'm seeing. It's like, this is such a bad situation for someone or some group that there is going to be like a little bit of a scramble to come up with the justification or some sort of way to address it to the public, because to not do so would be dangerous. Sorry guys, I know this is a little bit of an interesting read. I'm fascinated. I think, ooh, yeah, situations. I think for a lot of you, this is pertaining to a larger community. So this could be for some of you how things are handled within a family, how things are handled within a like government entity, how things are handled at the PTA, something like that. There is a misuse of power and a transfer of power. I swear I had these two cards come out like 2 days ago or so, but we have hamster wheel in the reverse and poison. This is really weird, but this is what I'm feeling. I feel like because somebody had the desire to acquire a lot of money as quickly as possible, because they were so focused on the money side of things, they kind of forgot some of the other details. Now, that could mean somebody who was so focused on working really hard that they neglected their relationships with their family members or their spouse. This could be somebody who is so focused on not being, paycheck to paycheck that they were willing to make a shady deal. But we have somebody here who has effectively poisoned some gift to the point where it is no longer, how do I explain this? It's like, this is the weirdest analogy ever, but I'm going to go with it. It's like we have a charger that you were really stoked that you stole from your buddy, like for your phone. I don't know, maybe it has like an extended battery with it or some shit. But then you plug it into an outlet that has water damage and you totally fuck it up. Now you can't use it. It's something like that. There was an attempt to take something that wasn't rightfully theirs, and it's something that now they have to pass along. So this could be somebody who's been caught up in a scandal who has to step down from a position of authority, something like that. We have offer on the table. And looking for info. Okay, so this feels like I think I literally just said like a shiesty deal. It feels to me like somebody made a political move, right? Which doesn't necessarily mean they are literally a politician. This could mean somebody who is like being strategic in some way that ended up being not so strategic. And now there's, with this searching card, there's intrigue or interest around this particular deal because there's something that does not fit, something that does not seem truthful. And I feel like to some extent there's somebody who's trying to get that information before someone else does. But I don't think they will. So we have drama queen, clarifying magician. Oh, you guys, I also feel like it's worthy to mention deal with the devil. That's what this is. What kind of deal is it? Oh, we're clarifying the devil. So I don't know, maybe somebody knew that they were working with a partner that was without morals. We have a magician, somebody who likes to make things happen. This could be somebody who facilitates introductions, somebody who facilitates negotiations. This could be also somebody who just knows how to make things happen in general. They have a reputation for causing trouble. And I'm more so drawn to the fact that this is somebody who's shying away from a camera. Somebody is running away from the attention that their actions are now bringing to them, right? So it's like, shit, I shouldn't have done that. Now everybody's asking me what I did. If this forbidden love applies, I feel like it's specifically to power, like somebody who has a love of power. We're going to use the Egyptian tarot. Since we started with Ma'at, it just seems like the right thing to do, right? And then if you guys have not seen my adorable miniature Rider-Waite yet, this is like my new favorite. Look at how cute it is. So tiny. It's finally not too much of a challenge for my tiny hands. All right, we have the Seven of Chalices. So it feels to me that this Seven of Cups is specifically some sort of illusion, some sort of, remember I was talking about a facade with the Taj Mahal? It's like with the Emperor coming out alongside the Seven of Cups, but he's in the reverse, notice. There was an attempt to control perception or reputation and a desire to like create a facade or an illusion, right? Like, this is who I say I am, but I'm actually this person, right? But somebody's lost control. Remember I said there was going to be a transfer, right? Somebody has lost control. Holy shit, you guys. What is this reading? Ugh. You guys, we have the Magician in the reverse and Death in the reverse. This is coming across to me as we have somebody who was so set on controlling the outcome of the situation that they were willing to do whatever it took. Like, now I'm thinking, what was that show? With Robin Wright Penn, she eventually becomes the president, and I think she was like loosely based on like Hillary Clinton. But there's this sense, House of Cards, there's a sense here that somebody was doing the most to create this facade, and now they're being seen in their true colors. Now they're being seen as manipulative and conniving and heartless. I would also point out that it doesn't get much clearer than this. We have somebody who has been judged, and they have been judged in the negative. This is somebody who has, you know, a debt to pay. Like, you are going away for a little while, or you have to pay a fine, or you don't get the assets you thought you would in the divorce. There's something here about somebody very clearly being rejected because of their dealings. We have the Knave or Page of Pentacles. This is clarifying the drama queen. So I feel like there's a sense that this person had been studying under someone else. Like, well, the House of Cards example is actually pretty astute, right? Robin Wright Penn, I didn't actually finish the series, but she was able to step into that because she was like, she had a front row seat, right? She was watching everyone, figuring out how to play that game. I feel like somebody studied for a long time on how they could have this power. And there was a sense that they took on a lot of burdens, or they did a lot of things that made it difficult for them to sleep at night, right? With the Nine of Swords. And it became too much for them to bear. It's like somebody was not as good at hiding their motivations as they thought they would be. We're going to get the Kipper out. If this is resonating for you, first of all, you're a badass. Second of all, give me a like or a subscribe or a funny comment. Hi, Bob. Mm-hmm. No kidding. I agree. And, I don't think everybody needs a Taj Mahal. It's beautiful. I would love to visit it someday, but I think in my heart, what I view it as is like braggadocious, like too much, And there's an odd parallel between this card with the Taj Mahal and the courthouse with the shape of the roof. So, as I said before, there's some element here that is, within the legal system. somebody who put in a lot of time and effort into a particular outcome. But really, what I'm seeing is it looks like it was work they didn't want anybody to see that they had actually done. Like, the stuff you don't want people to know you were willing to do to get where you are. This was all about money. A true capitalist. Everything else is blurry in this picture except for the casino machine, whatever that is. And it meant that this person was comfortable being very false, lying to people's faces, and making it seem like they were innocent when they were not. But I think over time, people started to realize what their real motives were, right? Yeah, poverty in the reverse. It's like this person had a very pervasive and obvious disdain or fear of poor people being poor. So they might have been like very judgy, quick to assess somebody's value based on, what kind of job they have or what kind of car they drive. But now we have coffin and gift. Coffin is clarifying sudden wealth. So it's like just as soon as this person gets all of this money, they lose it. We have gift. And because this is under false person, I'm reading this as like an under the table deal, right? Like, okay, so this is what we're going to tell everyone we did, but also going to do this to make sure that you do what I want you to do. It's so funny because I think I told you guys last night in my live, I was watching Atlas Shrugged, which is one of my favorite books. So eloquently written. I don't really agree with all of the principles therein, but I still love the book. And I feel like there's some element of that movie that applies here because Jimmy Taggart was so in love with his political power, and they made so many ridiculous deals to try to control the money. And there's a sense that this gift, because it's so obnoxiously brilliant, I feel like it was something that was too obvious. Like, you maybe thought it was done under the table, but people figured you out, We have main female. This is clarifying poverty in the reverse. I feel like there was a woman of fame, or like a woman that people would like to take pictures of, that played in this particular situation. Like, this is giving me like Marilyn Monroe vibes, somebody that was somehow involved in this situation and probably somewhat of like a connector, like introduced people or hosted parties where people could get to know who they needed to know. All right. So we have waiting, and I feel like this is like more of an impatient or anxious kind of waiting. Like somebody is aware that that fan is about to be covered in shit. We have Lord in the reverse. You guys, it's sitting right underneath the Hierophant in the reverse. Somebody went against God. Somebody did something, and they know there's consequences for what they did. They maybe didn't believe it at first, but there is. See, here's that woman. There's some female that plays a role in this scandal where she was meant to, I think, kind of win the public over and play kind of distractor. Like, if they're all busy looking at her, they won't notice that we're stealing the jewelry from the safe at this place. Something along those lines, right? Like she knew that she was part of this little circus and that her role was to keep people focused. It's like she's the magician, right? Look over here, and I'm doing something over here that I don't want you to see. Oh, this is you, and I love it. So some of you may have Irish or Mexican heritage. Because I see a flag in the background. But there is some sense of you acknowledging that you are fighting the good fight, right? If you think you can be this, kind of person and take from people, you're going to run into somebody like this, a soldier that says, and no, no, I'm gonna have to ask you to just take a step back there. So I feel like in a way you're kind of an enforcer. You're the kind of person that would stand up for somebody who was being bullied, even if you didn't know any of the people involved. You guys are gonna think all I do is watch movies. I watched A Walk in the Clouds with Keanu Reeves. Pretty old movie. But there's a scene in that movie that I feel like applies where there are men trying to bully the beautiful protagonist woman. Can't remember her name. And Keanu steps up and basically beats some ass. And he's like, no, the lady said she wasn't interested. So there's some element here where someone is willing to do what it takes to fight for the right side, even if it means, because Keanu got kicked off that bus, even if it means you take a little bit of a hit, right? Wow, I'm talking about a bus. We've got somebody who's going on a journey. There's some visit, I feel, that needs to be made. This feels like somebody who defended something, wanting to, I think, reconnect with someone who's important to them. This is very serious because we have frivolity in the reverse and widower. So I feel like somebody's gone through a loss and now they know what's important to them. It's like, I don't have time for games. I'm just going to do what's right for me. All right, now let's get to my fun miniature cards and then we'll call it on this one. I'm hoping I can do 2 or 3 readings for you guys today. All right. Tell me more about this magician, please. We have the Queen of Wands and the Hierophant. This to me feels like somebody who is trying to act more powerful than they actually were. Somebody who thought they could kind of David and Goliath the situation. But now there's a sense that they understand, because with the 8 of Swords in the reverse, that's a change in perspective. There's a sense that this person now sees that they were being selfish or that they reached too far. This is like you're battering out of your league. And if they thought they were going to get away with it, I feel like now they're expecting consequences. So I was looking at the Page of Pentacles here, and the 7 of Cups came out. So somebody is feeling confused or concerned over how they saw a situation and how they can get out of it. It's like now they see it's like they see that they set themselves a trap. And with the King of Cups in the reverse, I feel like there is a lot of anger and I feel like a sense of betrayal. Like somebody feels like they didn't get the full story. We have the Ten of Swords in the reverse. I'm getting more of like the worst kind of betrayal, like somebody set you up kind of thing. And I also feel like there's somebody here who is moving on. Tell me about the person moving on. The person moving on has had a lot of people take things from them. And that's why they're getting a gift. They're being repaid because they were able to let go of the things that held them back. This is kind of giving me vibes. Hey, Christina, how are you? Kind of giving me vibes of somebody who lived a pretty difficult life, had maybe a brief encounter or a brief era where they were dabbling in some of this shit as well. And then they were like, you know what? I think I'm going to change. I think I'm going to let go of all this shit. Because like, maybe there was something, I don't know why I just thought of this. Maybe there was like a near-death experience where somebody was like, okay, I get it now. I can't keep living like that. But there was like a serious change here for somebody. An ascension or an ego death. And I feel like it impacted your view of morals and religion. And this transformation has made somebody feel, oddly enough, more powerful. They wanted to fight those who sought to have too much power. And it's giving me kind of like sword and stone vibes, right? Like, I'm going to defend that because you don't know how. You don't know how to wield power. You are greedy and you go against God. So I'm going to take that and I'll show you how it's done. So this could be, for some of you, this is somebody saying like, you didn't know how to treat your lover. I'm going to show you how. Woo! But we have an element of surprise here with the Three of Wands in the reverse. I feel like you are shocking people in terms of like a turnaround you've had or the fact that you called it, that you knew what was going on. So I feel like there's a sense that people are going to respect you a little bit more, at least the smart ones. And this judgment is also for you. There's a sense of good karma coming in for you. So I'm actually going to grab a Zodiac fortune telling card for you first. What else do we have as far as future? Someone who is ill is going to recover. Beware of a dark presence. A letter that you will receive, act on it at once. So you have information that's coming in. It doesn't have to be a snail mail kind of letter. It could be a, text message or an email. But there's something important, and I feel like you'll know. Like you may even like flash back to this video and be like, okay, this is it. I have to do this. But either way, this is a pretty significant reading for, I think, a pretty small group of people. So thank you for watching. I hope some of it resonated for you. I think at the very least, we know that somebody here has, I think, gone through a pretty difficult time defending what is right, and now things are going to change. So there's an acknowledgement of your dedication. So good for you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining me.